Okay, so we are back after our shel Pesach and Acharon shel Pesach little break. And now we are going to, Be'ezras Hashem, work on finishing this Maamar. I think it'll probably take us maybe 2, maybe 3 more days, because Eis Vav is a bit longer. And I also announced earlier that our next Maamar, Be'ezras Hashem, is going to be this one. I also explained what it was about, but But if you want to order it now and let everybody else know to order it now, we'll probably be starting this in about 2-3 days, probably 3 days, most likely. So if you want to order now is a good time. Okay, so let's do a bit of a review because it's been a while since we learned this. So the structure for this Maamar is very similar to the last Maamar we learned, in the fact that we're comparing 2 different things. So for example, that part is not similar. The other part is similar. Okay, this Maamar is all about Acharon shel Pesach, and it is about this concept of Mashiach and how is it that we're going to still celebrate. We're still going to celebrate Yetzias Mitzrayim and Pesach even after Mashiach comes. And it says that there's, so to speak, meant to be a correlation between them, but in reality, what we're seeing is all the differences. When Mashiach came, when we left Mitzrayim, there was the aspect of we crossed through the Yam Suf, it's got split 12 times, right, for us to cross through. We didn't actually come out on the other end. We kind of came out on the same side, but it was still split 12 times, and it was only that one thing. Meanwhile, when Mashiach comes, the Hashem will dry up the bay of the Sea of Egypt, and he will raise his hand and split it into 7 streams. So that was different. We also realized that there's, according to this Nevuah, we're meant to be coming from 8 different directions. So there's a very basic question: how come we're splitting it only into 7 streams when meanwhile we're coming from 8 directions? We kind of answered that one by saying that the 8th direction is not really in the way of this sea that we're meant to be split. So that 8th direction is going to come through a different path anyway. So that we don't need that one. But we realize it doesn't really make sense to compare Kriyas Yamsuf with Mashiach coming because they're so different. At the same time, the fact is that we do compare it, which means that there must be something beautiful and something amazing about Kriyas Yamsuf, about Kriyas Yamsuf that also elevates, so to speak, or there's something beautiful that we can learn from it in order to learn about the rest, like when Mashiach comes. We also went in to discuss that just like we celebrate Pesach, and we learned in the last Maamar that we celebrate Pesach not just one time a year, we celebrate the actual Pesach when it actually happened. We celebrate currently once a year, and also there's an aspect of us celebrating it and reliving it every single day. And when Mashiach comes, we'll also continue to celebrate Pesach, and we learned all the reasons why that works, or how that works. So to here, we're saying that Pesach and shel Pesach and Acharon shel Pesach are not 2 separate Yamim Tovim. They're one and the same, and so therefore the same way as we celebrate Yetzias Mitzrayim, it's the same way we'll continue to celebrate in all 3 levels Kriyas Yamsuf. So we did celebrate when that happened, and Miriam and everybody came and danced and sang and all the tambourines. So that happened then. Now we relive it on Acharon shel Pesach and shel Pesach, Acharon shel Pesach. We bring that up, and not only that, but we have an aspect of this every single day. That's what we're going to learn. And thirdly is when Mashiach comes, we will still celebrate, and we'll still live with the concept of Yetzias of Kriyas Yamsuf. So now we went into that a little more deeply. Then we got into this whole idea that this is a difficult miracle. right? So it says in Gemara that it's a difficult miracle. Like, what's so difficult? The same Eibusher creates the water and tells it which direction to go. Is the same Eibusher could tell it to stop going in that direction, just stand into two columns. But for whatever reason, it says it's very difficult. And so we have to understand, why is it that Hashem would even make, quote unquote, this difficult thing for us? So it says that Hashem wouldn't make it for himself. He would actually make it because we gain from it. And so we went on to explain more in depth that what does it mean that Hashem actually split the waters? It means that he split all waters, like every single aspect of it. And then we explained the difference between terrestrial beings, right? That we're not, if you pick up your feet, they're not rooted into the ground. So we have this freedom of being able to not be connected, quote unquote, connected to what we think is our source. And as opposed to ocean water beings that are, what do we call it over here? We use some other terminology for it. These like water,
marine life.
Marine beings. I guess that's something. Yeah, that's probably the word we used. But anyway, so the difference is that they are fully connected to their source. And if you take a fish out of the water, it's going to not live. That's just how it works. So, so the difference is that we are walking on. We are even, one second, pause, even the level of our breath, which you could say that our body is made from dust and earth, but our breath is made from the Eibusher himself. So we should be able to realize what big of an impact our breath is. And it's actually interesting because I just saw, I don't know if it was true, because one of these like forwards around, this person that came off the ventilator and he got given a very, very heavy bill. And it said, whatever, it's like $10,000 for 10 days that you were on the ventilator. And he started crying and they said, oh, don't worry, we can get you on like a payment plan and it's not a problem. And like, we'll figure it out. We understand this is hard. And he says, no. I'm a very rich person. I can pay it off. It's not a big issue. But when it comes down to it, I realized how many breaths I've taken for granted and I've taken for free from the Eibusher, how much it should thank him. If it takes $1,000 a day on a ventilator, the Eibusher gives me that breath every single day. So it's a good thing that this man is aware that the Eibusher is the one that gives him that breath. But in reality, we don't really think about our breath that often. I mean, we're not grateful for it as often as we should be. So even though we, in our certain sense, are connected to our source, which is the Eibusher giving us our breath, breathing into our nostrils, we only really make a bracha to thank him for it once a day. I mean, whatever. But whatever. The point is, we don't take it for granted. Not only that, but us, by being ourselves, even if we are surrounded by our quote-unquote source, which is, let's say, somebody, chas v'shalom, end up fully surrounded by earth, they wouldn't survive. That's not a good thing. So us terrestrial beings get to walk on the water bed and get to experience what it means to really live a life that is connected to your source. To see the fish right next to us in this direction and in this direction, and they live with this concept that they know where their source is from, and we get this beautiful experience of having exposure to something so deep and so pure, such as seeing a creature that really cares about their source. And it reminds us that we should really have that consciousness to really care about, not just care, but like really notice and be fully aware of what our source is like and what our source is from. And yeah, okay. So there's that aspect. We also spoke about how it's a preparation on two levels. We have to prepare the world to receive the revelation of Har Sinai, right? That Hashem was able to marry, to kiss, to join the world from above and the world from below, and that way actual physical aspects or physical creations were able to be permeated with Kedusha. So that only happened at Har Sinai when we received the Torah. Before that, something holy would be used and it wouldn't be permeated, so that thing could be chucked out. Nowadays, you can't chuck out tefillin, chas v'shalom. You can't chuck out a mezuzah. You can't chuck out. There's things now that get permeated by Kedusha, by being used for Kedusha things. And that only happened at that marriage, so to speak, that happened between the two worlds at Har Sinai. But in order to do that, we had to prepare the world. And in order to do that, we had to prepare the people that are going to do it. So the people that are going to do it, we had to be prepared by going through Yetzias Mitzrayim, by going through Galus Mitzrayim. We were crushed. I don't understand. Don't ask me to explain why the Eibusher had to prepare us in such a way. I'm not sure. But that was the way that the Eibusher prepared us to be able to illuminate. And I guess we did kind of speak about it in the last Maamar, because even while everybody else was going through darkness, we still were able to bring this light. And we speak about it in the Haggadah, that even when everybody else is being immoral, the Yidden kept their Hebrew names, the Yidden kept their tznius, and the Yidden kept their Yiddish mentality. Well, ish. Anyway, so that prepared us, and not only that, but the actual Kriyas Yam Suf prepared the actual physical being of the world. It prepared it because there was a split, not just in our water in over yonder, but also in every single water everywhere in the world. And we learned that also through everywhere in Seder Shtalshlus, the entire line of Seder Shtalshlus, something above it opened so that the piece below it could pass through it and get an experience of a level that was above what they're used to. So we got an experience of a level that's beyond us, which is going through the water bed. And so too with Atzilus and Bria and Tzia and Asiya, they all were able to go one step, so to speak, were able to get a taste one step of the higher level because of this Kriyas Yam Suf. And then we can understand why it's a difficult miracle. It wasn't just splitting the water. The Eibush was literally splitting every single aspect of the world and every single aspect of the creation, because he did it through the entire Seder Shtalshlus. So yes, it makes sense it's difficult. And it also, now we answer the question why he even did it. He didn't do it for himself. He did it to prepare us. He did it to prepare the world to be able to receive Kedusha that was above and beyond what they are used to. He broke the laws that he created in order for Kedusha to permeate into Klipa's Noga, whatever we want to call it. Okay. That basically caught us up till Ice Hay. Obviously, we went through some things quicker, but that's caught us up to Ice Hay. And not only that, but we learned, just like in the last Maamar, we learned that this didn't just happen in Kriyas Yam Suf way back when, thousands of years ago. It actually happens every single day. Just like Yetzias Mitzrayim happens every single day, and we learned in the last Maamar, then we say during Shema, we say Shema in the morning, Shema at night, and the fact that we say B'chol me'adcha, yes, B'chol me'adacha, because we say that aspect, we're able to relive it. We're able to live with such a concept in the morning and in the night. And so to here, when we daven and we really arouse this feeling of love for the Eibusher, just like we said, my flesh and my heart long for you. We want that relationship. We want that connection. We are reconnecting ourselves to our essence. Let me just check. Okay. We are reconnecting ourselves to our essence, which is the Eibusher himself. And when we live with such a concept, when we work on really loving the Eibusher and being aware of the Eibusher and being aware of the Eibusher as our source in life, we're able to relive with this concept of Kriyas Yam Suf every single day. And then we brought in again the story, which is so, so powerful. And I hope we all live with it. This aspect that the Alter Rebbe used to say that I do not want anything. I do not want your Gan Eden. I do not want your Eilam Haba. All I want is you yourself, not just you, the person that's the Hashem that I can gain from. I want you as you are by yourself. And I spoke about this last time, and I want to reiterate it, that we can practice this, and we can work on our relationship with the Eibusher by working on our relationship with our loved ones. If we take a moment to look at our spouse or look at our, a parent or a sibling and say, I don't just love you because what you do for me. I love you because of who you are. And the more we think, and the more we practice with our spouse, our children, our, whatever, the more we practice living with that love, that sense of love, then we're able to transform it and connect it also to the Eibusher, not just also, but connect it primarily to the Eibusher and say, Hashem, I want you and I want to connect with you, not just because you do good things for me and you make sure I have parnasa and you make sure I eat well and you make sure all these good things, but I want to connect with you because of who you, Hashem, are, because of Hashem being Hashem himself. Okay, and so, yeah, and so through Kriyas Yam Suf, we were able to live with this level. Again, same concept, a different method, but same concept, that we're able to live with this level of going beyond our limitations, right? Just like Kriyas Yam Suf broke through the entire Seder Shtalshus and gave us a taste of something higher and greater than we can reach on our own, so too for ourselves, we need to live beyond the Seder Shtalshus. We need to live beyond our own set of preconceived notions of what we can't and can't do. And it's funny because I'm going to bring this out a little bit. Last night I barely slept. I was so stressed out because I'm still, and I'm going to be honest with everybody, I'm still trying to deal with the fact that Mashiach isn't here yet, and not in the revealed way or whatever you want to say, but like, the shofar blowing and all these beautiful miracles we spoke about. So I was like, seriously, tomorrow morning I have to go back, not the Maamar shir I love, but just like the concept of like, okay, back to the typical quarantine life and, online school and mommy school, and it's heavy. It's a lot to go back to. And so last night I was just like, okay, I have to organize all my meal plans, and I have to organize all the schedule for the kids and the arts and crafts and the science, and each one of them, I have to make sure that they're all learning at the level that they're meant to be learning. Leivik needs to be learning his Chumash, and Shalnever needs to be learning Kriya, and Menachem needs to be learning Aleph Beis. I want to make sure that they're all up to date, and it was kind of hard to sleep with that. So I realized that I need to go and I need to practice this concept of living beyond my limitations and say, Eibusher, the fact that you gave me this, the fact that you gave me 3 incredible kinderlach, each in their own level and with their own classes and their own, situations, it means that I'm capable of doing this. The fact is, I'm capable of doing it. I'm not just capable, I'm capable of making it the most amazing experience for my kids, because Hashem wouldn't do this if it was to torture myself or my kids. So it must mean, and I had this mindset before, but I just, whatever. It's a constant preparing when we need to work on ourselves. And this is a wonderful opportunity, being on quarantine and being with our children and being with our family members, or even being just, some of us are by ourselves in our apartments, being with ourselves. How much time do we spend being, running around taking care of others? We actually need to take that time to take care of ourselves. So with that, I'd like to finish off and say, we are Be'ezras Hashem working on a program to help everybody schedule their time properly, make the most out of this time period. And this is one of the next big projects that Living Chassidus is going to launch over the next few, hopefully, days. And we are going to help Begashvis and Baruchnis. We want everybody to get the most out of this for themselves, because by them being the best themselves that they can be, they will also, as we said in the last Maamar, this is a concept in our Maamar, by you working on yourself and going beyond your gvulim, beyond your limitations, not only do you affect yourself, you affect your family and your immediate surroundings, you affect your entire community, and through affecting your entire community, you also affect the entire world. So l'chaim, let's make the best out of this amazing experience that the Eibusher has given us to spend this quality time with our family or with ourselves. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, Be'ezras Hashem, as we continue this Maamar.